What's up YouTube, JP here, and today we're going to be looking at the multi-port Switch game card reader. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful. Let's just call it the Switch Game Changer. So without further delay, let's dive in. So let's get the boring bit out of the way. I was sent this device for free for review, and my opinions are going to be my own and my own only. So even though the name is a bit of a mouthful, what does it actually do? Well, you clip it to your dock, and then it has a cable on it that plugs into the game cartridge slot. On the back of the device, there's 8 game cartridge slots, and what you'll do is the bottom 4 are just for storage, but the top 4 you can switch between them by pushing a button on the top. So this is great for young kids that say maybe have 2 or 3 really good games that they play all the time. Then you can just plug it all in and they just push the button on the top to switch between the games. Now later on in the video I'm going to see what happens if you actually switch the game mid-game to see if it just crashes the Switch or if it does anything else to it, because I do feel like people might try and do that if the game's already running. So I guess the first thing we need to do is do an unboxing. So let's do that now. So here is the box for the device, and as you can see it says multi-port Switch card game reader, but as I said we just call it a game changer. Now you get the main device itself, and then you get a USB to USB-C cable. So nice and simple. And we will go through how to install it, but that again is nice and simple. So as you can see, we've got the game cartridge slots at the top, and these are the ones that are in the changer. And then we have the storage ones where we can add them, and then that USB-C port. Now there's a nice thick rubber cable here with a kind of like a cartridge on the end. And then on the top we have a button which we'll use to switch between games. And then we have the clips themselves. Now these clips will basically go on to the top of the dock. So I'm just going to grab my dock here, and this is just a standard V1 V2 dock, but it'll also fit on the OLED. So with the clips you just kind of position it and it hooks on the top. Now it is actually quite secure, and it looks pretty good to be fair. It kind of blends in with the dock. So I decided to use the USB port that's underneath the panel. So you connect one end to that and the other USB-C end to the other side. Now you can use the external port if you're using the internal one, but I just think it looks tidier. Now what you see me doing here now is loading it up with some games, because like I said, the top 4 slots are the game slots and the bottom 4 are just for storage. I think the whole package looks really tidy and neat. So we're going to need a Switch to test it on, and let's use this one, which has a custom shell by ExtremeRate. It's called Chameleon, and it's kind of like a blue and purple, and as you move it around you can see it changing colour. This has got to be one of my favourite shells that ExtremeRate sells. So let's get it put in the dock and see how everything connects up. So of course you slide the Switch in the dock as normal, and then what you're going to do is you're going to open the cartridge slot with the little plastic flap that's on there, and then just plug in the cartridge cable. So it looks something like this. Now I must admit that does look good, but I still can't get over how cool that shell looks. So here's a message from today's sponsor. Sorry for interrupting the video, but I've got you a 10% discount code off anything on the ExtremeRate website. Now they have some amazing products, just like this atomic purple shell for the Nintendo Switch. They also have dock shells, LED light kits, replacement parts, screen protectors, you name it, they've got it. Use code ARG10 to save 10% today. So as you can see, it connects to the top of the dock, and it secures in quite firmly, and it doesn't look out of place. Now before we go ahead and jump in and start testing it, I just want to let you guys know that I'm going to be giving this away on Patreon. So if you click on the link in the description below, you can join the Patreon today for just £1 or $1. Now I don't have the date where I'll be doing this giveaway yet, because we still need to give away the Game Grid too. So once that's done, I'll put a post on the Patreon letting people know when I'm going to give this away. Now I'm going to do this giveaway a little bit different. So of course we're going to give away the Game Changer, but then we're going to have 3 runner-up prizes, kind of like a booby prize, because these 3 games here that I bought to test with this device, let's face it, they're absolute trash. So what I'm going to do is, after I've given away the game changer, I'm going to pick 3 unlucky winners that are going to get a signed copy of one of these trash games that I used in testing this device. So I guess the next thing we do is get this set up and see how it performs. Let's get on with that now. So as you can see, we've got it all hooked up and it's showing one game. Now if I push the button on the top, it's going to swap to the next game, and then if I push it again, it will swap to the 3rd game. Now as you may know, the Switch will keep a history of the games you've played. So that's why there was only one game on the screen at first, but obviously you can swap between them. So I've just started up one of the games, and I can tell you now that whether it's in the Switch itself or in this game changer, the speeds are exactly the same. So one thing I wanted to test is to see what happens if you push the button while the game's actually running. So once I push the button, it's going to swap the game, and of course you're going to get an error saying the cartridge was removed. Click OK, and it goes back to the home screen, and as you can see, that game's selected. If I select one of the other games, it says the game's not inserted, so if you just push the button, then it'll actually let you play it. Or you could just push the button first before selecting the game. So one of the other things I wanted to test is to see what happens if you actually add another game. So here's Ring Fit Adventure, and we're just going to chuck it in the back. And as you can see, it automatically goes to that game and selects it straight away. And then obviously you can push the button on the top to keep switching between the games. Now this device is fantastic for people that always have it connected to a TV, because you just put your 4 favourite games in, and then you can have 4 spare games in there as well, and you can easily swap between the games. So I can see a lot of people using this device because it's really good and it does exactly what it says on the tin. Now if you want to get your hands on this device, I've put a link in the description below, and you can also save 10% by using the code ARG10CODE. So I think I'm going to end the video here. If you do find value in my content, please do me a favour, like the video, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. I'll also have a link in the description for my Patreon where you can get this device for free if you enter into the giveaway, and I'll also drop a link in the description for my Discord server where we now have 20,000 members. So if you want to talk about this video or any of the other videos I cover, just drop a message in one of the channels and I'll get back to you. I'm JP, you've been watching Alien Retro Gaming, and I'll catch you in the next one.